Welcome to About That Life podcast. This is Coach Chris Collins.
This is Mark Jeffries, GGT.
And we're here to bring you good AAU talk and conversation about basketball. This is episode 3, and we're going to keep this thing going. Please be sure to give us a like and a follow and a share on our IG, About That Life podcast. And also our YouTube channel, right? Because we're trying to venture off into videos and things like that. So please give us a like, share, and follow. I mean, anything you could do, just hit that like button, small click for you, is a big support to us. So please, by all means, do that for us, and we appreciate you. So hopefully we can keep giving you good content that you guys want to check out. So today we have another guest. This is actually pretty cool because not only is she our first player guest, she's our first female guest. And so, what better way to start than with a strong, powerful woman who is very familiar with the game and loves the game very much from my individual conversations with her. It's Miss Jada Lewis. Hi, Jada.
Hi.
Welcome.
Yes.
Welcome.
So let me give you a little rundown of Miss Jada Lewis right here, because she's pretty modest and pretty quiet half the time. But let's really break down who she is. She was a part of our AAU club, I should say my AAU club, because Mark ain't a coach here, but maybe one day. But
possibly, maybe.
But she's been a part of my AAU club since 4th grade, right? She started out with a.k.a. Panthers, so she's really been with the club when it was in its early stages. The AAU club's been around 17 years, so she's been with it off and on for quite a long time, and she's still a part of it. She always has access to our gym and our facilities and things like that. Not only is she a part of the club, she's played AAU ever since 4th grade, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, yep. So AAU's been a very big part of your process, correct?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. She went to high school at Whitney High School in Rocklin, California, where I'm also currently the JV head coach there. Just did my first year there, so, go Wildcats. Other than that, but not only was she just a player there, I mean, she left a significant impact there. Quite honestly, just she's a walking bucket. You know what I mean? That's just really what it comes down to. She broke several records. 1,500 plus points, and correct me if I'm wrong in anything I'm saying, but 1,500 plus points, most points scored in a season, correct? 3-pointers made in a season and career, is that correct?
Yep.
Right? And a lead in assists and steals in a season, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember what those numbers were by chance?
I do not.
You
Feels
just
like
know.
a long time ago.
Okay, but you just know you got them records though,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
What was the career high? Most points? How much in the game?
In a game, it was 33 points. I had 31.
Wow.
So,
Nice.
Wow.
yeah.
Nice. And when was that? Was that like your senior year or your junior year or what?
That was actually, I think, my sophomore year at a
Wow.
tournament beginning of the season.
Okay.
Wow. So she hit her peak sophomore year and it just was downhill from there.
Damn.
No, I was just playing with you. No, also, you said when we talked, you said junior year is when Portland State approached you, correct?
Yes.
And Portland State approached you and you signed senior year, right?
I signed May of going into my senior year.
Okay, nice. Just curious, I mean, what made you choose that school? Because I'm pretty sure it wasn't the only school approaching you.
What made me choose Portland State was just like the campus, the coaches, the team. They had a good dynamic going, so I just want to continue that. And I was coming in with 6 new freshmen, so I thought that would be a good idea for me to go in with new players as well, so we could grow as a team, not just hop in with a bunch of seniors and they're going to leave in a couple years.
Right.
So I thought it was a good idea for me to hop in then.
Nice. Well,
Build
good.
something.
Yeah, exactly. It's good you're thinking of your future that way. So, I mean, let's start it off with the first question. What's some advice you can give to aspiring female athletes? Imagine you're some of these young girls, and I see you talk and approach a lot of these young girls sometimes, even when you're here training and stuff. What advice, if you were sitting down with one of them sitting right next to you, and the path of women's basketball. You know, girls quit sometimes. Their dichotomy is very different than I would say on the boys' side. And what I mean by that is, like, just to give a tangible example, you know, guys, we typically don't care who we play with, right? We can, I could get on the court with you and we can just figure it the fuck out. Even if we dislike each other, we can figure it out. I just often find that women ball players, typically it matters. It does matter who they play with, right? So for you, what's advice you can give them to navigate all this?
Well, some advice I can give is just stick with it. I mean, if you have for a second thought that you can go play it at the next level, stick with it. I mean, there's going to be naysayers and doubters, like, coming your way, and you just got to work hard to prove them wrong. That's the only way. And for all the young female athletes out there, I suggest getting into the weight room early, because I did that and it really showed on the court how much it impacted my game. So I know there's not a lot of women players or girls players that are getting into the weight room, not enough. So that's just the biggest advice I could give.
I like that.
Yeah, no, that's great. So let's delve into your AAU life, your AAU experience, because obviously that's the biggest thing we want to talk about here. And you didn't just play for YBA; you played for multiple teams, so you had multiple coaches, multiple experience. What was that path? What was it like? You don't literally have to go through each and every single AAU team, but give me a general outline.
All right. Yeah, it's a long story. It's a long path that I went through. Yeah, I went through a couple AAU teams. I started out here at YBA. I played with the boys, Extreme YBA, YBA Extreme. So just playing with the boys, that made me tougher as a young girl. So I came into high school, and I played with a different AAU team. It was a girls' league, and we were blowing teams out by 20, 30 points, and I just thought I needed better competition, so I moved on to play in the Bay Area, Cal Stars, and then over there I had better competition. I was on one of the lower teams, but it still gave me confidence. It still made me run harder and go faster, so I came back to high school better, and then after that season, decided not to commute from Bay Area to Rocklin every week, so I stayed local, and then I went back to a team that we were blowing teams out at 20, 30, and I decided this isn't it, so I needed to I needed to have more competition, so I moved to a different team in SAC, and then I finally had a coach that would mentor me outside of practice. She would work with me through my game, through talk and everything, so transferring from there to SAC team really helped me with that. But yeah, I mean, I ended up finishing with that top flight team in the summer of my junior year, and then after that, playing my last year of high school, and then going to Portland State.
Nice. Would you say, and this is just kind of a little delving into that topic, because I'm just you mentioning several things. One, playing with boys, right? Did you have good experiences with that all around? I mean, did the boys basically, and I'm pretty sure you were younger when you were doing that, but I'm saying, did the boys pretty much treat you as equals? Did you feel you had to earn a little more respect? Like, where were you at with that?
I felt like I had to earn respect. Yeah, definitely. I heard a lot of like, are you going to get beat by a girl? You can't get beat by a girl. Like, no, I'm just a basketball player.
You know what Ted talking about that?
Exactly.
It's like, girls go hoop. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, like, I'm just a basketball player trying to hoop. Like, I'm not just a girl.
Yeah.
I mean, but, yeah, I mean, I was young, so I didn't really know any difference. I was just having fun and just going with it. But, yeah, as I got older and played with more boys, and boys get bigger as they get older too, so like it was tougher playing when I got older with boys, so I just stuck with it, continued playing with them, and that's how I'm strong right now.
Right. Did you, during that process of, you know, competing with guys and everything like that, like, what was your mindset? Like, did you enjoy that? Did you understand, knowing that if I'm here playing with these guys, when I go back playing against the girls, I'm supposed to dominate? Like, what was your mindset going through that?
Yeah, like, one thing was that when boys face against a girl, they go harder.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but they want to be
because they don't want to lose.
Exactly.
They don't want to be that guy. They don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
Because I ain't gonna lie, I'll block
that's actually a good thing, because you know how some guys, they might not even always go hard
For
against
real.
each other. So you're actually having an advantage because that's
Yeah.
actually helping you long
I'll
term.
block the hell out of you. You come to the hole. I don't care.
You got to figure it out. You
And they
got to
be
figure
like-
it out.
And they be like, she's a girl. I'm like, she's playing.
Yeah.
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 No, that's good. And then the only other thing I was going to say, still talking about that, was I heard you mention male coaches and women coaches. Did you feel any difference, or did you maybe connect a little better with strong women coaches as opposed to, because obviously basketball, all intents and purposes, is a male dominated field, even on the coaching side of it. But did you feel a difference? And this is, again, talking from a player perspective. That's why I'm really curious to see, for someone like yourself who was high level, did you feel a difference, or was it just all the same, or is this was just a good coach, bad coach, good coach, bad coach, gender didn't even play a factor?
Yeah, like, honestly, I don't think it really played a factor because I've had guy coaches that were really good, like Ted. He really was into developing players, and I've had women
Let me
coaches.
get a splash for Ted.
Yeah. Shout out, Coach
Shout out
Ted.
to
But yeah, with women coaches, I've had coaches that weren't really interested in developing me as a player, and I had coaches that were interested in it. So it was just like, if they would take their time to help me out in the long run. So that was just basically the difference. So I don't think it was gender or anything. It was just if they would take time out of their day to help me.
Okay, that makes sense. All right.
So a question I want to ask is, what is, especially right now with all the crazy stuff that's going on and everything like that, how have you been trying to keep in shape? Like, what's your routine? You know what I'm saying? Like, because I know every player is different, especially with everything that's going on. I know there's going to be players who are kind of, let me take a break. You got the ones who are going, once or twice a week just to kind of stay sharp. And then you got the ones who are just working, like, season might start tomorrow. Like, where you at? Where you at right now? Just working out the process.
I'm always thinking that season's gonna be right around the corner, so
Oh,
I
she a
gotta
hooper.
stay ready.
She a hooper. That's what I was waiting for. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I gotta stay ready.
Yep.
So, my routine is right now is just I wake up really early. I lift weights in the morning, just get that over with. Yeah, I do
Nice.
conditioning in the morning,
Nice.
and then
We still haven't got on that Vertimax.
Hey.
I'm on it.
Okay.
But yeah, I do that, and then I rest for a couple hours. I come here, I train with random
Nice.
coaches, whatever.
Yeah.
That, like, hop in, Jada. Like, I'll hop in, like, whatever you want. And then I'll do ball handling exercise, shooting exercises every day. Just staying sharp with everything. So
That's really
basically
good.
what my routine is. I'm here.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. So what is that? So what do you tell, like, does that 3-4 sessions a day, you would say? You're working out 3 times a day, you would say?
Yeah, I would
Okay.
say 3-4 sessions a day, and just in between that, if I'm bored and I caught myself chilling
Yeah.
for a couple hours, I'll pick up basketball, dribble, do
Nice.
10-minute ball dribbling
Nice.
exercises. So
Nice. So you hear that, all my GGT girls right now? You hear that? That's what it takes. That's what it is. All right.
Good,
You're hearing
good.
it from a D1 athlete. All right.
Shots fired, bro.
Yeah.
Shots fired. Get your asses in the gym, man.
Exactly. Not even just for the girls. That's for everybody. Everybody.
Exactly.
Everybody.
You're right.
So what's, just because I know, Coach knows you, more than me, and I'm learning from you and listening to these stories. What's, for somebody like that, just from me, from my experience and certain players that I train, just listening to you, I feel like, in a way, you're chasing something. Like you're trying to, there's an end goal. What's your end game? Like, is this more like, okay, I'm a D1 athlete. All right. I'm saying, I'm gonna just do what I have to do while I'm here in school, and I know you're trying to get your degree and everything like that. Or is there plans of after college? Like, you want to continue this? And because of course, how old are you right now?
I'm 19.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. You're young. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you ever see yourself down the road continuing to play?
Yes, that has been my
Okay.
goal for a long time.
Nice.
My first goal was getting D1 scholarship.
Okay.
Did that, and as soon as I did that, I made more goals, higher goals to play overseas after I'm done with college, and hopefully train girls. I want to hopefully own a gym one day, and
Nice.
because I know that with our women's salary nowadays, I'm not gonna have a retirement fund just playing basketball.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to
Smart.
get my education and just learn as
That's
I
good.
go.
That's really good. Very good.
What would you say is your score? That's, I know that people out there might not know that, but I know that. And But what's the evolution that got you there? I mean, what are your strengths outside of? I mean, scoring's just a given, but what do you when you look at yourself? I mean, yeah, I'm telling you right now, stroke your own fucking ego. What do you see as your strengths?
What I see as my strengths is when I mess up on a play on offense, I'm right back on defense. I want to get the ball back. I want to steal the ball so I can get another layup. Like,
see, gotta have dog and dog. Just wanted them to know that dogs play defense.
Yep,
gotta have
exactly.
some dog.
And two way.
Like, if someone steals it from me, I'm stealing back. That's just my mentality. So it's just not putting my head down, keeping it up, and just keep going from there.
And this is not scripted, y'all. This is all her, okay? So don't think like we sitting here saying, oh, please talk about defense. No, this is all her. So, because players, I feel, especially nowadays, everybody wants to score. Everybody wants to score. Everybody wants to score. I just don't feel like there's enough emphasis on wanting to stop others from scoring. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
All right. Well, then, switching gears, let's talk about women's basketball culture. Overall, and we've had, our own brief, individual conversations, Jada. Let's put it to the forefront. Women's basketball culture is, to me, again, very unique. Not good nor bad to me. I just think it's different in terms of there's so many more variables to finding those girls who really want to stick with it from, let's say, a fourth grade to a Division I athlete, right? Because there's so many different layers and hurdles along the way, right? So what is your take of just overall women's basketball culture? Like where it's evolved from, where it's at now, just your overall opinion.
I mean, I just see, as women grow up, I've seen a lot of girls quit. I've seen a lot of girls stick with it. So, I mean, just from it evolving, from my standpoint, is that the girls who know that they want to play and the girls that work hard, they continue playing. And so I just see if you're not getting the right support you need or the right whatever, I see a lot of girls just drop it and say, I want to do something else. So that's just one thing.
Do you have an outside passion? I mean, I know basketball is your true love and passion, but do you have any other things outside of that you might be interested in doing?
Honestly, I don't know.
She's locked in. She's tunnel vision right now.
Yeah, this past year, my coaches at Portland State emphasized we're more than basketball players, and they're trying to help us figure out ourselves so we can figure out what we want to do after we play. And that's what I'm still trying to figure out. I'm all about basketball. I've been all about basketball since the fourth grade, so it's just I'm still learning what I'm into, what I'm not into. So that's just
Well, the best part is, like you said, Mark, she's young.
Yeah, exactly.
So you got plenty of time to figure it out. I didn't get my shit together until I was 27. And I'm still working. Me too. Still trying to figure it out. Too. So the best part is you got plenty of time.
Yep.
No, and that's good. The topic for all three of us today that I kind of want us to talk about, and this is just kind of getting it out into the world, into the AAU world, the basketball world. Because, again, we not only here to just talk hoop, but we want to talk about life and everything else in general and all that entails. In my opinion, AAU basketball, and mainly that's why I'm glad you're here, Jada, because you're someone who's kind of seen all venues of it, from traveling to the Bay, playing for multiple teams, playing across the nation. You've seen it, right? And I think AAU even nowadays and for her is very different than how it grew up for me and you. I know for me for sure. Like I said, I'm 37. You're 32, right, Mark? Yeah. But even still, I think our AAU has become this weird, juggernaut, and it has clearly some really positive implications, but it also has some really fucked up ones, right? It really has some really bad ones. The question that I want us to talk about is, does AAU need a clearinghouse? And for the people watching or the people listening, let me explain what that is. So for the NCAA and even the NAIA, most college programs, they have what's called a clearinghouse. What that means is basically a committee of overseers, usually fat old white guys, that sit there and basically give the rules and regulations of what college players can and can't do. That big, thick-ass NCAA handbook, that clearinghouse is the people that create it, right? AAU is very unique in the sense that they expect their own entities to govern themselves. So it's very similar to the police. We're going to police ourselves, and we see how good that works out. So, again, for basketball, there really is no clearinghouse. But in comparison, let's just so I can give some comparison. If you talk about volleyball, in the Volleyball AAU Handbook, it's Chapter 4, Section C, Paragraph 3A, B, and C and D, and I'll read off some of it right now so you guys can understand. I'm bringing receipts. I'm bringing receipts to all this. It talks about transfers and club attachment. Athletes who transfer under the section are subject to national championship eligibility restrictions as adopted by the National Sports Committee. After a youth member becomes attached to a club, he or she may only transfer to another club in the same sport as follows. And these are the exceptions, right? If the youth member has not competed in any AAU authorized events in that sport for a period of 60 days, no permission is necessary. If the representative of the club to which an athlete is attached signs a release from permitting an immediate transfer, athletes who transfer under the section are subject to national championship eligibility restrictions as adopted by the National Sports Committees. C, when the transfer is for the purpose of competing with the team which has qualified for a national championship as provided by National Sports Committee rules. D, if the registrar determines there is a good cause to believe that the transfer is due to events outside the control of the athletes or the transfer serves the best interests of the AAU. And that's just volleyball. And there's one similar in baseball. I'm not going to read it all, but in baseball, it's Chapter 5, Section B, Paragraph 2A, B, and C. You look up basketball, there's nothing like that.
Wow.
It's all mercenary.
No rules.
And I think that's become the problem. But if you also look at the numbers, I think it's 65 to 70% of AAU is basketball. Literally right now, it is basketball. Just like that clip I kind of showed you guys with the video, and we'll get more into that. So, to me, I don't know. I feel we need somebody to govern this because I'm seeing so much renegade, outlandish shit. I mean, you literally have. I know of several kids, and I won't put his name out there. I won't put him on blast, but he's about to be a sophomore in high school, and he's 18. 18, sophomore in high school. Because we have these double and triple back, whole back rules, right? Because I want my fucking kid to be an amazing 8th grader.
Wow.
And again, you guys saw that video I sent you. There's a reason why, right? Because it's all about the money, right?
Yeah.
So my thing is, should there be a clearinghouse? And if there is, what should it look like? That's what I'm asking you guys. So what's your thoughts, Jada? If that, I know that's a lot, but tell me what you think. Should there be some people making sure this shit is fair?
Yeah, I mean, isn't there like 16U, 17U? Don't they go by that instead of grades?
Yeah,
so,
they're supposed to.
I mean, I feel like if that was more strict, it'd be more fair. Because 16-year-olds should not be playing against 18-year-olds. Yeah. Like, that's not fair especially if you're trying to make money. Like, obviously, 18-year-old is going to overpower a 16-year-old.
Yeah.
By far. So, that's just my take. Like, it should just go by age group, not by grades.
What about you, Mark?
No, that's true. No, there definitely has to be some type of rules. Like you said, just when people know that, you can do a little bit more than the usual, they take advantage. So, of course, you'll have, I'm assuming, because, I'm still learning how it is with the whole AAU and everything. But, like if a kid is at a certain age, I feel like they should be able to develop around that age first, age by age. And yeah, for it, I don't know, just listening to you guys every time, just hearing about all these crazy stories, I'm always thinking in my head, like, who's controlling this shit?
Nobody.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if it's really like that, I can only imagine if somebody who has a mindset, to do some ill will or try to take advantage, like, there's some smart people out there who have bad intentions. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Knowing that, I can get away with this, I can get away with that. And I feel like for all these years leading up to it, just watching that video that, I was watching that you sent, like, I'm like, damn, this has been going on for a minute.
A long time.
Yeah.
A long time.
So yeah, it's crazy. That's why
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to coach AAU. You know, I'm cool with the skills training and the personal stuff.
And I'm telling you, that's why I keep advising you, stay the hell away from this as long as you can. I'm all in. I'm in knee deep in this shit. And I still, for me personally, I still do things the right way. I very rarely have ever had a holdback on any of my teams.
Yeah.
And typically, if it has been a holdback kid, he's literally like the shortest kid on my team. He's like a 5'7" point guard. So you can't sit there and say, oh, well, he's 14. He has such an advantage. No, he's tiny as hell. Like, but this ideal of a 16-year-old being in 8th grade, of a 18-year-old being a sophomore. Really think about it. This is where it really gets very murky and interesting, and that they have to start addressing now. Is this kid is now a 20-year-old senior in high school, which is an adult, right? Getting at a 14, 15-year-old freshman.
Damn.
What do you do with that?
Yeah.
Your administration, what do you do with that?
Yeah.
Exactly. Because they go to school together.
Yeah.
He's technically a high school kid, but he's 20 years old.
He's in that environment.
Yeah. How do you regulate that? Very, very hard to figure that out. But because, again, in AAU basketball, there really is no regulation, no clearinghouse. It really is up to the parents and the club. There's this honor system, right? That's what it is, an honor system. We say, we trust that your AAU club is going to be respectful and honest, and you won't lie. And you guys know as well as I do, that is full of shit. These coaches will lie, cheat, and do whatever it takes to get a trophy. That's the trophy chasing. And that's just not what I'm not about that. And I think it shows in my product, in my kids, because we win, and we win the right way. But yes, when we play against like a team with 5 holdbacks, we're going to lose. Period. No matter how much I strategize, no matter how much I prepare my kids, when they're playing, when they're in the 8th grade, playing as 14-year-olds, maybe turning 15, playing against 4 to 5 16-year-olds turning 17, we're not winning. Period. We're not winning. And again, it's rampant in the East Coast. California's just caught up. The East Coast is really bad. So I think we definitely need a clear house. Who do you assign to do it? I don't know. Like, where is it stationed? I don't know. I would say just Sacramento, because we're the state's capital anyway. So that makes sense to just put it somewhere in the Capitol building, right? Mm-hmm. But then how much do you pay? How much do you allocate? AAU programs are a 501c, which means we're nonprofit, which means, okay, does this become an LLC, which makes it an actual company where people can get paid and make money? Do people volunteer? Like, where do we pick it from? Because we can't just make it all Northern California people, because there's got to be people in SoCal, because California is so big. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's such a difficult question, but it's something we clearly need there because basketball has become so renegade. So that was just, a couple of things I was thinking about. You guys have any more thoughts or anything on this?
No, I feel like low-key it just seems like, since it's been going on so long and all the stuff that you just said, it seems that people are just like, oh, fuck it, just leave it alone.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like, for there hasn't been any change. No. Something dramatic has to happen, I guess, for it to something to happen, but that's what happens when you mess with money, a lot of money. Yeah,
they just turn another eye and just turn a blind eye to it. Have you personally ever seen or experienced anything like that, Jada?
With women basketball, not really. I mean, if you're a high level player, you're going to be on a high level team. That's just it. So it doesn't really matter what age group you're in or what. But
I know you work as a scorekeeper sometimes. Can you see teams and you're like, oh hell no?
Yeah, I scorekeep a lot of guys' games, so I see a bunch of 16-year-olds dunking. I'm like, you sure you're 16? And
they got full on beards and body hair and shit. So they brought their kids to the game. Like, man, I'm 16. What you talking about? Like, what?
All tatted up,
right? Exactly. Right. Like, that's your wife. Like, what are you talking about? I'm telling you, that is what unfortunately is the side of AAU basketball. So, switching gears again. Let's go into respectfully disrespectful, right? Let's talk some stuff that's obviously might piss some people off, but of course, you know me, I'm I'm North Korea.
There you go.
I don't care about pissing people off. You know where to find me. I ain't hard to find, man. And I'm either UPS or YBA. So the question I pose right now is, are parents the reason AAU basketball and kind of youth sports in general is becoming more mercenary and kind of more, messed up and renegade? What do you guys think? Is it parents? Is it players? Where are we at on that?
I think it's parents. A lot of parents trying to make their kids play at a high level. And if that means you were 18 and playing down, then that's what it takes to, have looks or whatever. But, parents are really just forcing stuff down kids' throats at a young age that they don't really understand yet, and they don't really know any better. So they're just listening to what they're saying.
Okay. What about you, Mark?
Yeah, like I said, I can't really speak too much on it, but just from observing from the outside, I've encountered a lot of parents just through the personal training side of it. You know what I'm saying? When they're telling me my kid is nice. My kid, this coach said that he or she can do this and da-da-da. And I'm I'm on the phone. Okay, so let's check her out on the first session, and I'm like, well, we got a lot of work, you know what I'm saying? We got to keep working. This isn't, you know what I'm saying? So I feel just looking at it, I think it's the parents, I'm assuming, I know Jada's saying that. How about you? Just because you've been doing, is it the parents or is it the whole thing?
It's so funny. It's kind of it's a combination of both, but I will say majority, I do believe it's parents. And let me be fair. I believe it's parents who can't, who have parent goggles, right? That's a term we use, very common amongst coaches, parent goggles, that all they can see is not my kid. Yeah. My kid's amazing. My kid's amazing. It's, and maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll experience it one day because my kids are young. But to give it context for me, I have a daughter who's autistic. She's special needs, right? And I don't ignore it. I don't say, oh, my daughter's just normal. No, she's not. She's special needs. She has things that another child doesn't need. For instance, she scripts. What that means is she repeats a lot of what she hears constantly. So she's just constantly repeating. So I have to get her to focus, calm her mind down, and get her to focus on in the moment. Do you have to do that with typically most kids? No. Right. Mm-hmm. But for me to walk around with parent goggles, ignoring it. Right. To be real, I got some fucked up family members. So, y'all probably got some too. Exactly.
We all do.
I got an auntie who thinks her son is perfect. Right. My cousin. And no, I think there's something wrong with him. And there's been something wrong with him a long time. He is a grown man with something wrong with him now. But because she chose to have the parent goggles and kind of ignore it and just say, "Nah, my son, he's special. Oh yeah, you're right, he's special. he ain't special in the way you think." Yeah. So if that applies to my logic, I can't understand why other parents can't apply it to themselves. Right? I'll have dads who are doctors, engineers. I had a kid I trained. His dad was co-inventor of the GoPro camera, right?
Wow.
Real legit intelligent people with finances, with all that stuff, but they can't see their kid sucks. These are the same intelligent people that can't see your kid can't dribble with a left hand.
Yeah.
And he's a sophomore in high school. That's a problem.
Yeah.
Right? So I think because of that, parents are the problem, and then they project it onto the kid. So then the kid starts to get a self-image of I am perfect, I am amazing, right? Because that's learned behavior.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
You as a coach, as an outsider, and especially because AAU's so renegade, they'll keep bouncing the program until they hear what they want to hear.
Yeah,
right.
Damn.
If you don't make one of my elite teams, they'll go to Matt Barnes elite. They'll go to Lincoln elite, which I think is an oxymoron in itself. Lincoln elite, Lincoln barely has talent, but okay. So just
shots
saying,
fired.
Yeah, you're damn right. Exactly, you're damn right. Okay, they go to other town select, right? And then they want to be, and then they say, well, look, we are amazing. We beat your YBA team. Okay, yes, you beat our D team. That's good job. Great job. You proved you're better than our developmental kids. That's cool. And because of this whole process of don't want to take an L, don't want to hear the truth, I'm going to go somewhere until I hear what I want to hear, which is my kid's amazing, my kid's a superstar, my kid's going D1. That's why we have a problem in AAU basketball. That's why you have parents ready to fight. That's why you have kids acting a damn fool, not showing respect to referees, not showing bench etiquette, right? But it creates that culture because, like, for my teams, if you ever watch me coach any of my teams, and Jada, I think you've seen me coach enough of my teams to know, not only am I a hard coach, you know, I light my kids up, but I think I create a culture of team camaraderie. Like, my benches are very into it. You know, my players are clapping, and that's not by accident. There's an expectation that you don't know who's watching you. Yep. And if any college goes to one of my showcase events, any of my teams, they're not going to only see great basketball players. They're going to see great people. And I think that tone gets set by the coach and also by the parents who are willing to let the coach do their job, right? But again, because their money is a contributing factor, there's just not, you know, there's not a lot of me, I guess. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of people who are willing to stand their ground like that. So, you know, parents and players are both the problem, but I believe parents are the majority of the problem because the kids are learning this behavior. And we'll talk, you know, we're going to talk more about that crazy shit we saw last tournament, but that was literally a parent, right, showing, you know, negative behavior, and then they wonder, well, why isn't my kid getting scholarships? Like, why is nobody looking at my kid? Because look at what you taught them. Look at what you showed them. So, I don't know, man. Like, for any parents watching or listening to this, you have to be willing to let your kids learn, and that also means letting them fail. You have to let your kids fail. You have to let them learn what it's like to lose, to learn how to win. You can't be on this, I'm going to keep hiding it, I'm going to keep hiding it, I'm going to keep hiding it, because eventually y'all all going to go to high school, and that's where that shit really gets exposed. That's when kids quit. That's when kids say it's too hard, or the coach don't like me. I love that one. The coach don't like me. Why the fuck does a coach need to like you for you to be a good basketball player? I've never understood that. Why do, like, and of course, if a coach has a vendetta against you and they're purposely like fucking with your time, they're purposely trying to hold things back, okay, that makes sense. But I rarely run across coaches that just dislike a kid. I'm not gonna say it doesn't happen. It does, because they're humans and they're fallible just like anybody else. But if you balling, you balling.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So
I always like the term I tell all my players: be so good that they can't ignore you. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of players and a lot of parents, they always have some type of excuse. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna lie, back in the day, you know, I would think like that too sometimes. Like, you know, but at the end of the day, if I look back, you know, you wasn't that good yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how it is. But if you nice, you don't got to worry about that. That's what I believe. So, yeah.
Okay. Jada, do you have any more thoughts on that? Or I know she's being her normal quiet self now. So, but to be fair, you're interacting pretty good. I'm proud of you right now. I am. Go ahead.
Yeah, just like exactly what you guys are saying. Like, parents just like have this fact in their head that their kid's the best. So, like, that just needs to change. Like, you're obviously not the best on your team, so you need to stop. You need to stop acting like it and work harder than the best person on your team.
Exactly.
So you can be the best.
Exactly.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about AAU history, right? So for you guys who are watching and who are listening, I'm a big guy on research, on history, on facts. Like, you know, that's why I try to bring receipts to everything I do, especially on this show. I sent a video, and shout out to Gabe the Great. You know, let me throw a splash for you, brother, because we met back in Portland, and this brother's a really good dude. He made, if you guys get a chance, literally look him up on YouTube. He makes these really unique YouTube researched like documentary specials about AAU basketball, because he's a coach himself and he has a daughter, so he's invested in women's basketball as well. And he has some great footage and some great takes on the history of AAU, and also black versus white AAU and women's basketball. I mean, he talks about a lot of things, but the link I sent you guys was obviously about AAU basketball and the history of it. And I figured it was relevant today because obviously the climate of what's going on. Yesterday was July 4th. and I was really conflicted on celebrating that holiday because, again, people, our ancestors, people of our color, were not independent on July 4th. That's just the reality of it. We were not independent on July 4th. We were still considered property on July 4th. You know what I mean? Or 3/5 of a person. So it's hard because you get the culture of it. And of course, we would, you know, you always hear the statement, well, you ain't a slave. You were never a slave. You, like, I'm not even going to get into all that. But again, you know, with that being said, and then kind of thinking about the history of AAU, I figured let's enlighten a few people. Let's really break down the background of AAU basketball so people kind of understand, and then just talk about it a little bit. So for AAU basketball, it was founded in 1888. Let me see, make sure I got my facts correct. By William Buckingham Curtis. And that's not all 100% true, and I'm going to get more into that. But in 1888, by William Buckingham Curtis, he established the standards and in amateur sports. During its early years, the AAU served as a leader in international sports, representing the United States in the international sports arena. Okay, that's not the full truth. There was another guy that founded it that was actually a bigger player named James Edward Sullivan. To give you guys a quick version, and I'm paraphrasing from Gabe's video, which, like I said, you guys saw, right?
Yeah.
He was a racist piece of shit. he really was. His ideal was he wanted to prove white people were better at sports than everybody else.
Yeah.
Which you also may not know, in 1904 during the Olympics there, which was it was during the St. Louis, the St. Louis World Fair was the same time during that Olympics. They did human zoos. Okay, just so you guys understand, when you talk about slavery and things like that were so long ago, in 1904 there were human zoos with people that looked like the three people in you see in here in our natural habitats. How fucked up is that?
Fucked up.
When you think about that. But it was so long ago, right? We're so different now. No, they literally had human zoos in our natural habitat. And
of different cultures.
Yeah,
right?
Indians and Aborigines, so Samoans, like they literally would kidnap these people, put them in their natural habitat, and display them at as human zoos, right? Like, the thought of this is so insane to me that people were doing this. So, Mr. Sullivan, his goal and his obsession was to prove how much superior white people were in athletics than these type of people. And I'll get more into how that correlates into AAU basketball. Because you got to understand, these are the foundations which built AAU sports. So that's why you see some cultural residuals in AAU sports, in my belief. He created these games, basically these amateur games during this Olympic time, where these different cultures were literally given like 10 minutes to learn the game, no warm-up, no practice, no anything, and then they would compete against athletes who did and practiced the shit their entire lives. He would say, okay, come here, little Indian boy, I'm going to teach you, track real quick, or I'm going to teach you pole vault real quick, here's how you do it. And then he wouldn't even teach them in his actual language. They would teach him in English, so he would be like, what the hell are you talking about? Throw this. Okay, now compete against the number one pole javelin guy in the world. Yeah. What? And say, see, we're superior to them.
Yeah.
How does that work? Right? So this is the foundations of amateur sports, of AAU organizations. And then as it evolved in the 1970s, then they enabled I forgot which president, I think it was Roosevelt or something like that, enabled the 1976 Amateur Sports Act, which allowed amateur athletes or professional athletes to compete in world events instead of sending our amateurs, because in other countries their amateurs were getting paid, right? That's how you have the rookie Rubios who've been literally playing pro ball since they were 14 years old, right? You know, they got them to compete. So then obviously it started to regulate, then which proceeded into the dream team and all. I mean, that's the residuals, how you see all this stuff. But, you know, as Gabe said, as Mr. Sullivan's burning in hell right now, you know, he created the foundation of what you see AAU is today, and that's where I see some separation and some renegades of it. I was just trying to get, since I kind of exposed you guys to that and showed you that, I was just trying to get some of your thoughts on some of that crazy shit. Like, did you guys know about this? Did you, you know, did it enlighten you a little bit? Just
that
thoughts.
was my first, like, you know, when I saw the video. And what was crazy, you're talking about, you know, when he was making the other races compete with the white people, that even in the video it said sometimes they would lose, but he wouldn't bring it up.
He wouldn't bring
it
up, right?
That's like, man, that's shit that probably still be going on today. Like, remember, I know you remember, what's his name? Roy Jones Jr. When he was in the Olympics.
Yeah, and he took that L to he took that L to the Chinese
and
dude.
He whooped his ass.
And that Chinese dude whooped his ass. Or not Chinese, Roy Jones whooped the Chinese dude's ass.
Yeah. So it's like the race thing is always, you know what I'm saying?
It's still there.
Because he's black, and it's like, like at the end of the day, it's like you can't give no credit. You know what I'm saying? So that's that was interesting to me, but at the same time, I'm not surprised. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's definitely messed up. So what do you think, Jada?
Yeah, like, same thing. I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised at the same time. Yeah. Like, there's some racist people out there like that really just, if they get beat by someone not their color, they're not going to bring it up. Like,
or give them credit.
Yeah, so main thing that really surprised me, but again, not really surprised, was the human zoos. Like, I don't know how people, I would be fighting my way out of there. I don't know how short the fences were, but I would find a way to hop it.
For real.
Like,
I mean, and you know, again, not like I'm trying to bring a dark side of the show, but this is the type of shit we need to get out there. This is the type of shit a lot of people don't know. You know what I mean? They just think, they think AAU is this basketball thing that was created once Nike got into it. Yeah. It's like, nah, this has been around a long time, and it has some dark roots and some dark history. You know what I mean? It's very similar to college. People don't get college was founded under the pretenses of classism and racism. The people that founded college, which was our founding fathers, higher education, right? They did that to make sure that there's separation between poor white people and black people. That's why it was created. It wasn't created because they said, oh, we want to make everybody smart. No, they said we want to keep our elites elite and intelligent, and we want to keep the dummies dumb so they don't learn, right? And of course, there's the civil rights movements and all the things in between, and of course, sports became a regulator, right? Because that's what helped to pay for college. That's what helped to be able to pay for education, which then manifested in, you know, these very intelligent brothers and people and things like that. But we still got a long way to go, you know, but it's like you can't forget the roots. That's the thing about it. And again, I'm not trying to make, you know, this show super political, but we can't ignore this shit, man. It's just to the point, we got to talk about it. We got to talk about the roots. We got to know where we've come from so we can understand how to change it. You know what I mean? And then, of course, you know, probably future shows will get more into black AAU, white AAU, and all those kind of differences and stuff. But I just thought that was something I wanted to talk about and share, you know, and get your guys' thoughts on it. Because, again, I didn't know. I didn't know. I ran across that guy's thing, like, I want to say a year or two ago.
Oh, wow.
And I was just like, wow. And then when I went to the Portland tournament, my President's Day tournament, that's when I got a chance to contact Gabe, and we talked face to face. And like that's I said, he's a good brother, young cat too. I want to say he's only like 20 something, but very intelligent. And I told him, I said, man, what you did there to research it, to know what's going on. I mean, that's something that I feel every parent and kid should watch. Yeah. You know what I mean? So again, if you're listening, if you're watching, check out Gabe the Great. It just literally, you could type in black AAU versus white AAU, and it will be one of the first things that pop up, and you'll see it for yourself. I think if you look at his videos, you learn the history. It sheds light to just some things that in this day and age need to be talked about. Yep. So, all right, moving on to, I guess you could say more positive and more funny events, right? So I got a segment that I wanted to create, especially because this week we had some funny events going on. So to prefix it all, West Coast Elite was going to do a tournament here at Hardwood Palace. That's kind of our gym right next door to mine. Basically, they pulled out, but me and Ken decided, okay, we're still going to throw something together, throw some type of jamboree so these teams from out of town could still play good competition and things like that. And they were against Adidas teams, shoe circuit teams, teams that are on the shoe circuit. And it was mainly Adidas teams, I think. Yeah, I think they were all Adidas teams. And my 16U whooped their ass. So I'm very, very, very proud of that.
Okay.
So, very, very proud of that. And my little bro, Webster Moreland, was one of the coaches for the organization, International Elite, and my boy, Nate Bowie. So, Nate, if you see this, my 16U kicked your ass by 30.
Shots fired.
Exactly. I should do that. I'll do that in a sec. And Jada saw it. She was there scorekeeping. We killed them. But that's not the topic at hand. So for this topic, we're gonna call this, and then of course this is what my nephew soundbite. We're gonna call this segment Hell No. It's the hell nah, you hella whack on my mama. Like, that's why we got to start talking about these guys, because hell no, I can't deal with some of the AAU shit that I'm dealing with. And I swear on my mama, on the town, some of y'all are so whack. Some of y'all are so terrible. So we're gonna talk about this one story that happened, because Jada was a part of it. So she can give me firsthand knowledge, and I talked to some of the coaches too. Game going on was a competitive game. It was the NorCal Ducks from Chico against FanBiz, or right? Isn't that their team name, FanBiz or whatever? That's coached by Poe, and Don usually coaches them as well and helps him out. Basically, and Jada, you correct me if I'm wrong, because again, I'm just getting from the coach from NorCal Ducks. She gave me her take on it. You saw it. Basically, the coaches, the game's getting pretty heated, pretty competitive, right? I think it got to a point where there was like 5 techs.
Yeah, there was. I can't even count.
Okay,
the whole weekend.
Both sides.
Yeah, both sides were getting texts.
Wow.
They were just talking back and forth. The refs weren't having it. So
okay, good. And to be fair, this same team, my 16U played their 15, 16U, and to be fair, they'll try to claim they were all 15U. They're not. I know the players there. Some of them are 16. Some of them are actually 17. They're just 17-year-old sophomores. But whatever. We're not going to get on that. And we beat them, too. And that game was pretty competitive, right? You remember, Jada, the coach is trying to say we cheated, our refs are cheating. That's just the strangest shit ever. Everybody thinks YBA, we pay the refs. We don't pay the refs. If we pay them for their service. They don't get extra to cheat for our teams.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's the stupidest thing ever. But how about sometimes our teams are just good? It's okay to take an L. So either way, the teams are getting into it, and to give you perspective, the FanBiz team, it's predominantly brothers. It's predominantly pretty much an all-black team. A lot of them come from South Sac, maybe Del Paso Heights, the hood areas, right? Whatever. Yeah. I personally don't care where you're from. You just play hoop and have a good time. And the game getting competitive and chippy, that's fine. What was told to me, allegedly, one of the players from NorCal Ducks spit on one of the players from FanBiz. Did you see that at all?
I didn't see that. I saw them in each other's faces, but I didn't see any spit fly. But I could be wrong. I mean, I wasn't in there. But.
So it's like the Rondo Chris Paul situation.
We need some replay,
right? We need some history. Yeah. He breathed, and a little particle came out. Whatever you want to call it. And so, because of that, the players got into it, correct, right? And then so the assistant coach, who is one of the players' dads, then started going on this crazy tirade and was sitting there saying, I'm gonna have my son fight the kid. Like he was saying after the game, you could fight my son. And first off, okay, you're a grown ass man telling your son to fight another kid over a basketball.
Before that, he was talking to the kid.
What was he saying to the kid?
He was saying that he can't beat him up, but his son can.
While they were playing, going up and down, or
no, it was already, everyone was already on the floor at this time. He was just talking to the kid like face to face. I was like, he's a kid. His mom's out here trying to talk to you, like.
Right.
That makes me mad.
Right. Doesn't that piss you off? Like, come on, man. You a grown man. Like, act like I hate. That's the term I hate. They be like, I'm a grown ass man, but you try to fight a 17-year-old. What type of shit sense does that make? And so all this is going on. I'm on court too, so it gets to the point where it gets so loud, so crazy. Parents are coming out the stands. So the mom of the kid from NorCal Ducks, the one that was being threatened, came up and was just like, "Hey, man, stop threatening my son. You know, or like, I'm gonna fuck you up. Like, that's my son. Like, chill out." And so then he makes a big old thing. So it gets to the point where they have to stop my game, and I'm over there looking because I'm like, okay, let's see if this shit really gets out of hand in case I need to go over there and break something up, or in case Ken's not adversarial, so his cell phone's ready to hit 911. You know, Ken he's like, Chris, should I call the police? Or I don't feel comfortable right now. I'm not safe. You know, little Chinese man is nervous as shit right now, and I'm like, oh my god, last thing we need is Rocklin PD to walk in here, say about 30 Negroes are about to square up and fight because we're about to have 30 T-shirts. So I'm like, Henry, please not go this route. Please not go this route. And so it got really bad because the coach from Fan Biz was then cursing out the woman coach from NorCal Ducks, from what she told me. I mean, maybe you could verify that, Jada, but that's what she told me. She was saying you calling her a fat bitch, saying I'm a trainer, I can help your fat ass get in shape, like I'll beat your ass, like all kind of stuff. Like, is that did all this happen? Basically,
he was in her face. She was trying to talk to him, calm him down, like everyone else was. So
wow,
not surprised he said that.
So I mean,
tripping.
That's really gangster, bro. trying to fight a woman, man. I mean, that's
and trying to make his kid fight the other kid. Like
you do, and again, what I'm saying about this is you do understand that is a reflection on why some kids will never get scholarships, right? You do understand by acting that way, you are subconsciously sending the message to the kids you coach that is okay, that is acceptable. And then when no colleges come after this kid because they hear about this crazy ass reputation, you only have yourself to blame, right? Because every game, every AU tournament is a teachable moment, right? At least I agree it is. It's a teachable moment. And if you're teaching the wrong thing like that, you can't possibly see a good outcome of that. Yeah. So my message out of all this is, you know, parents, please think of the bigger picture, okay? Please don't be on my show in the hell no segment because you had to do some stupid shit. There's some fire shot for you, okay? Like, please be smarter than that. Do right by your kids. Think of what you're projecting out there as a coach and a parent. Think about what you're trying to teach your kids, because this is not the way to go about it. And threatening to fight people, threatening to fight women, threatening to do all kind of dumb, crazy shit like that. How can you possibly look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm doing right by these kids. I'm doing right by the basketball community. I'm trying to teach young black men and women to be better and educated and work in a civilized society. Because at some point you got to recognize your fists can't solve everything. Mm-hmm. Honestly, your fists are going to be the reason why your ass end up in jail. Mm-hmm. All right? So anything to add to that, Mark?
Preach.
Preach. So, you know, that's just my segment, and, you know, you hella fucking whack. Just had to get that out there. So, let's see. Well, is there anything else you got to add, or you guys want to talk about while I'm thinking about it? Anything on your guy, or anything on your mind, Mark?
No, nothing really on my mind. Just been I'm happy that Jada's here. Got to, you know, like I said, I got some girls that I've up and coming that I've been working with that are young, so listening to you and everything like that, and they're all going to listen to this show, you know what I'm saying, get them ready. I think it was very informative. So
all right, well, then we'll go into the last piece of the show, which is always the not a good fit segment. So let's, you know, let's let's get into that and see what today's topic is. Okay, so let's talk about not a good fit. This weekend, I was approached by a coach while I'm playing with my 16U, the coach from FanBiz, sitting there talking about how YBA teams love to cheat and we love to pay our referees, and that's why they don't come to our tournaments. Well, last thing I checked, YBA doesn't hold tournaments, dog. That's not something we do. It's actually Hardwood Palace and Courtside. We do little jamborees and stuff every now and then if we need to, but we mainly do camps and clinics. And if it's not a good fit, I understand, man. If you think we out here cheating, if you think we out here paying refs off, as many of these programs and organizations say, you really don't know what the fuck you're talking about, because that's just not what we do. We try to do things honorable in the respectful way, and that's why we've been around 16 years. If you can't understand that, then don't move the fuck on, and maybe it's just not a good fit. Again, there is no cheating. For all intents and purposes, we don't even do the holdbacks, so we don't definitely want to get into that topic. But if it's not a good fit for you, I fully understand. I respect your hustle. I respect what you do. I respect every coach out there that's preaching good stuff and trying to take care of these young men and kids. But please stop approaching YBA like we do anything shady on our behalf, because we do everything very legit, very respectful, and the product speaks for itself. And if it doesn't work, then it's just not a good fit. So that's all I got to say about that one. Moving forward from that, I guess, you know, we hit to the closing to our show. I mean, just want to say, Jada, thanks for coming here and being brave on the microphone. I'm very proud of you. Y'all don't understand. This is a big step for her.
Okay. Seemed like she did good.
Yeah, right. She's not necessarily, she's a woman of few words, but you know, she does a lot, and her actions on the court really speak for itself. So anything closing from you, Mark? No,
just stay in the gym, keep working, and definitely good luck with your future.
Yeah, no, I mean we'll see what happens with COVID-19 and all that stuff, you know. Yeah. But you know, you stay ready. You got anything else to add to the conversation, Jada?
I just want to say thank you guys for having me as your second person. So yeah, thank you guys.
History.
One day at a time, man. It's all about consistency. It's all about staying together and all about getting things done, you know. Again, like as my nephew says,
too big, too black.
That's just what you got to be. You got to be out here, and you got to make it happen for yourself. No, I really again appreciate you being here. Appreciate all that you're doing. Love your hustle. Love your drive, Jada. You keep being in the gym, because I see you. I know people see you. Again, thanks for those who are listening. Thanks for those who are supporting. I'm getting a lot of great positive feedback. And, you know, if you guys have comments under the YouTube channel, please leave them. Tell us what you think. Tell us if there's topics you want to talk about. Tell us if there's guests you want us to have. Like, I want to keep the content fresh. Me and Mark are always trying to progress and do better and better and better. So if there's ways you could tell us, please do. Mark, you got anything to add?
No, just keep supporting, and just keep supporting us.
All right, man. Well, I hope everybody has a good day, and we out.